guys, Ash Lane here, coming at you today with what I think might be it's the most improved deck post-update. Is it the best in the game? I don't know, but one of the best players in the game is using it. In fact, player number 3. Now, why do I say post-update? Because this deck is centered around 2 cards that were incredibly nerfed, actually 3 cards that were really nerfed in this last update. So, what are those 3 cards? Well, they are the Bomber Tower, the Cannon, and the Mirror. So the Bomber Tower, the Cannon, and the Mirror. Now he is the red player up on the top of your screen. So let's go ahead and see how he plays this deck. So along with the Mirror, the Bomber Tower, and the Cannon, he also has a Knight, he has arrows, he has obviously the Mirror, the Lightning Spell. What else does he have? A Hog. So the Hog is going to be his main offensive weapon here. So what we're going to do in today's episode is we're going to watch this replay, and then we're going to play this deck together against some of my clanmates. I figured actually playing against my clanmates, who are all very skilled, over 2,000 Cubs players, will actually be much better for tutorial purposes, because obviously all the cards will now be the same strength, and not only that, but the tournament overtime rules, I think they go 3 whole minutes of extra double elixir. So that's absolutely crazy, and it will help us see things through till the end, the real end, not just a draw. So anyway, here you can see right now the players kind of just trading jabs at this point. No one's taking a significant lead. Now you'll notice that all the good players to put their hogs down right there on the map. Something to take note of. Let's see if we can remember that when we go into our own battles. Half the time you see these things, you make a mental note, and then for whatever reason you just totally forget to implement them when you're actually playing the decks. So right here we can see that oh, by the way, the red player does have a 1-level disadvantage here from Long Island, so that's another thing he's battling this war. Certainly a huge difference between level 11 and level 12. Every level that you go up, obviously you're going to see a bigger difference between the levels in between. So now we have the Bomber Tower on the board. So this is really cool. The Bomber Tower, and then he has the Mirror card, so if he wants to, he can just go ahead and drop another Bomber Tower, another Lightning. With all these expensive and cool and powerful cards, the Mirror is just that much more useful now, because after the last update, you guys might already know this, but the Mirror card actually got a significant buff. So it used to be, I think, the level of the Mirror card you added 1, 2, or 3 to the Mirror card, but now, after the update, you add 4 levels for common cards to your Mirror card level, and you add 2 levels for the rares. So that's a significant buff to the Mirror card. So you can see here, it's just really effective. It's hard for for Long Island to get to his tower, having to battle, especially with the deck he has, having to battle the Bomber Tower there. Bomber Tower just does a heck of a lot of damage to those barbarians, and he's able to use the Lightning Spell to pick up the win. So that was a really cool attack. Definitely a really cool deck that you just did not see at all before the update. So let's go ahead and build it ourselves and then try it out in the wild. So what the heck did he have? I wish my memory was better. I'm in my mid-30s now, so not as slick as I was a decade ago. Let's add the Bomber Tower, add the arrows. What else did he have there? Minions. Minions. What else did he? Oh, the Cannon. So I've never used the Cannon because honestly it wasn't that useful before the huge, they revamped the entire Cannon. So let's level him up a little bit. Get him to level 9, I believe. Yeah, so perfect. Just enough cards to get him to level 9. So we'll use that. So now the elixir was cut from 6 all the way to 3 on the Cannon. So that's a big difference. He had the minions. What else did he have? Mirror. The Mirror card. And I think that's it. Okay, so we got everything. I think the Mirror card was the last one. We'll put that in there. Let's go ahead and see if one of my clanmates wants to go ahead and join a friendly match with myself. The idea behind this deck is that we have that Hog. That's our main offensive weapon, right? So we'll have the Hog, and then will build a huge defense, right? So we also have the minions if we want to, as well as the lightning spell. So those are our real main. So we're fighting Phil here. Those are our main offensive weapons. Then we have tons of defense. We can really protect against anything with the bomber and cannon. So I'm not going to start with a hog. That'd be silly. I don't want to really tip my hand and show that I have the bomber tower until I need to. So we'll start out with a cannon instead. Now the mirror allows us to have another cannon. You know what? Let's go ahead. I take that back. I'm going to build the bomber tower. And then he has the balloon. So minions are really good against the balloon, but he will get one shot or maybe two against my bomber tower. Okay, so he wastes a freeze spell there, so that was good. We're going to go ahead and get a few shots in on that right tower. So a little bit of a sloppy start for me, but it's okay. We'll go ahead and recover. I probably shouldn't have dropped that bomber tower. I didn't see the balloon. I'm not sure if it was placed first. You'll have to rewind and check. See if it was my senses that failed me or I just didn't know. So we dropped the knight on the wizard. Knight is just an absolutely perfect counter to a wizard. And you know what? This knight's probably going to do some significant damage to that hog as well. He does. Cannon is good. Cannon's like a tombstone with more hit points and does more damage out. So I like this new cannon. I like it a lot. So he uses arrows against the minions. He really didn't have a choice. Let's keep the offense going here. Drop a hog in the right-hand lane. He has the tombstone, obviously a great answer to the hog. But I get 2 hits on that tower, even with the tombstone. I'll take that. Gonna drop a bomber here to help protect against those skeletons, even though it doesn't really even get 1 shot in, so forget it. But the bomber tower is never a bad thing to have on the map. Give a thumbs up for no reason. Okay, he's coming out with a balloon. I have nothing to answer the balloon with, so I'm gonna have to lose 1 elixir and use a lightning spell. That was good that he used the freeze there. That's why we delayed a little bit to see if he was going to use the freeze. Let's drop a cannon here, and it's really going to be really difficult for that hog to combat the cannon, the tower, and the bomber. The cannon, the tower, and the bomber, yeah. So let's go ahead and drop an arrow here. Ooh, late on the arrows, but it's not the end of the world. Let's do minions again against that balloon. He might freeze, but it's going to be kind of a wasted freeze if he does, yeah. So he freezes, but I'm just going to go ahead and rebuild that structure that was going to die anyway. And let's go ahead and drop a knight here on this wizard instead of dropping the lightning on the tower. You can see that bomber tower just absolutely going to work on all these barbarians. They're not even going to pose any threat to me, those barbarians. So that's why this deck is so powerful. You're not going to get a lot of 3-star victories with this deck, but you're going to get a lot of 1-0, I think, with this deck. So I have the arrows at the ready. I had the hog going in. Even if he killed my hog, I would be ready with the lightning spell, so I would have had that tower. So we'll say good game. I'll drop the minion just in case here, but I don't think he's going to get to the tower. So good. 1-0 with the deck. Good game, Phil. Let's see if any of my other clanmates want to play. Let's go ahead and play another match. So, who's going to accept this time? We're going to be playing Zess. Okay, so good luck, Zess. Let's see what you got here against this new best deck in the game. Okay, so obviously I'm not sure if it's the best deck in the game, but like I said, I think it's going to be the most improved deck in the game. It's so versatile. I'm going to go ahead and use a lightning right off the bat. Now, normally I wouldn't do this. I try to save elixir, but that bomber tower is so powerful that I think you might have just not used that fireball. The fireball didn't hit the bomber tower. Weird. Anyway, the bomber tower is so powerful that you can actually afford the luxury of using a lightning spell there, whereas normally that would have put me dangerously low to mount a defense. So let's go ahead and drop a hog. He's dropping a giant, so I know the giant won't target the hog, so let's go ahead and try to disrupt his plans there with that giant. So oftentimes, when they play a giant or a golem, the idea is to really disrupt their plan, because if they can get a lot of troops behind those tankier units, you could be in trouble. So, but the beautiful thing about this deck is that I think the cannon and the bomber tower will do a great job at distracting even a golem. So let's go ahead here. I don't think that Zess has a golem. I probably would have seen it already a minute and 20 seconds into the match, but who knows? He might. So let's see. I'm just going to be patient right now. I thought about dropping the hog, but you know, patience is really the key to this game. If you want to get good at this game, get good at being patient, especially when mounting your offenses. So now we're going at full speed. We're going to use the same combo there, the bomber tower followed by the lightning spell. The idea is to always just, you know, take little jabs at the right-hand tower here. Try to get it low. That's going to be our victory condition. So let's do the same thing again. Let's hog against his giant, see what answer he has for that. It's gonna cause him to stop being able to stockpile a ton of elixir as well. So a few shots again against the tower. It's putting it in danger of a lightning spell. So now I'm in the command seat at this point. I'm gonna double minion here. Double minion is pretty good with the mirror. So you're not paying too much more, only the 1 elixir more, and you're still getting that nice level bonus. So it's not too bad to have the double minion, essentially turning it into a minion horde if you really need it. So the good thing about the mirror too is some people think of it as a waste of a card, but what it really does is it helps the cards move along. It's actually like it has its advantages, because although you do essentially have a 7-card deck in terms of diversity, it does, there is an advantage to getting 2 cards essentially off your board at the same time. Look what I'm doing right now. I'm building a huge army, because this is the thing with the deck is you don't need to mount a huge defense. I wish I had another defense card up. You don't need to, mount a huge offense. You don't need more than 1 tower mostly with this deck. So good game, Zess. So really, you can just go ahead and have fun after you get that 1 tower down. Just build tons of defenses. It's going to be really hard to crack that. So we'll go ahead and end it there, guys. Good luck if you use this deck. I want to know how it works out for you. Go ahead and comment below. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.
We don't play for fame, we don't play for cash. We just play for the glory and the crash of the ash.